If you're planning on pre-ordering a new Apple TV 4K, a redesigned 24-inch iMac, or even one of the new M1 iPad Pros, well, you're gonna wanna stick around and watch this video before you make that pre-order, as I'm gonna try to go over everything that you need to know before ordering one of these new products from Apple. So let's start off with the most important thing, the pre-order date and times for each of these products. I can definitely tell you that pre-orders open up tomorrow, April 30th. We all kind of know that already, but for those who need a refresher, it's in fact tomorrow. Unfortunately, unlike some of the company's previous launches, including last week with AirTags, Apple has not definitively given us a time. Now, we are assuming that it's going to be 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific. I think Apple might be done with those 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. Pacific launches, considering that the last few have all been at 8 a.m. Eastern, including again AirTags last week. So if this does end up being wrong, well, I'm sorry, but as of right now, we just don't have a time listed officially on Apple's website. As for when you can expect these pre-orders to arrive to consumers, again, we do not have an exact time frame. Apple just vaguely lists the second half of May on each page for the products that they're offering, but there have been some new leaked information that actually happened this morning that points to a May 21st release date. But again, this information has also not been confirmed by Apple. All right, now let's start with some of the things that we do kind of know. And we'll go with the iMac first. We did an entire video over all of our thoughts about the design and everything that's new. And if you want to watch that again, you can click the card here in the upper right corner. But what Apple doesn't make totally clear, at least not at first glance, are the configuration options. So when you check what builds are available, you go to the pricing options, everything is relatively the same aside from some GPU configurations, but each model will be listed with an 8-core CPU, 8 gigabytes of RAM, etc. Now the base model iMac does come with only a 7-core GPU as opposed to the two higher end models coming with an 8-core GPU. And there are no additional USB-C ports aside from the two Thunderbolt 4 ports that come with the base model. The base model also does not come with a gigabit Ethernet port included in that power adapter, and the Magic Keyboard does not include Touch ID. However, it does appear that you can also add some of these options at checkout for an additional cost. Now, if you go up to the iMac page and click on tech specs, you will also see that storage options are not strictly limited to 256 or 512. In fact, you can actually configure up to 2 terabytes of SSD storage, and users can also get 16 gigabytes of RAM. The base model will start at $1299 and come in a limited variety of colors compared to some of the other higher end configurations. Now, speaking of colors, please let me know in the comments down below, as I have no idea which one I'm going to go with yet, and I want to know which one you guys think is your favorite color. As far as Apple TV 4K goes, I think the biggest question people will have, especially those who already own an Apple TV 4K or an Apple TV HD, can I buy the new remote separately, and will it work with my Apple TV? And the short answer is yes. The new remote will be available separately for existing Apple TV 4K owners and HD owners for $59. Now, when it comes to the new Apple TV itself, not much is really different aside from the new A12 Bionic chip and of course that new remote. Personally, if you have an Apple TV 4K, I'd say it's probably not worth the upgrade unless you really need that extra processing power for gaming. But if you're just watching TV, I'd opt to just go and get that new remote instead. Unless, of course, you like the current remote, in which case, I don't know how you do it, but good for you. You can save yourself money altogether. Now, if you're thinking about upgrading from an HD to an Apple TV 4K, obviously the main difference there is picture quality, and then there should be some good processing power upgrades because you'll be getting that A12 Bionic chip. The new Apple TV starts at $149 for 32 gigabytes of storage for the HD model, and starts at $179 for 32 gigs of storage for the new 4K model. And lastly, we have the new iPad Pros. The biggest difference this year is the inclusion of the M1 chip, which, yes, is the same chip found in some of Apple's latest computer releases like the Mac Pro, the Mac Mini, the new iMac that's going to be up for order tomorrow. There's also 5G support, a new Thunderbolt port, and a new ultra-wide camera on the front of the iPad that comes with a new center stage feature that is designed to basically follow and pan around in efforts to keep you in frame when you might be moving about during a FaceTime call. That's really it, unless you plan to get the 12.9-inch model, in which case you'll be getting Apple's new Liquid Retina XDR display, which is made up of a bunch of mini LEDs and is capable of 1,000 nits of brightness and 1,600 nits of peak HDR brightness with a 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. There's also a new iPad Pro Magic Keyboard that comes in a new white color option, and here's where things get a bit interesting when it comes to ordering. Officially, the new iPad Pro does not support the first generation Magic Keyboard, which means if you decide to upgrade from last year's iPad Pro to this year's, and you have one of those Magic Keyboards, technically it's not going to work. Now, it's unclear as to why this is the case, considering the new Magic Keyboard does support the older iPad Pro models. We don't really have a good guess as to why it's not supported. Maybe the extra 1mm of thickness, who knows? Whatever the case is, it just kind of seems crazy that you have to go out and get a new one, but we just want to let you know that as of right now, if you plan to buy a new iPad Pro and you want to use the Magic Keyboard, you will have to buy a new one, which still starts at $299 for the 11-inch and $349 for the 12.9-inch. The new iPad Pro will also again start at $799 for the 11-inch model, but there is an increase in price and starts at $1099 for the new 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Of course, we will be testing out all of these products when we get our units sometime next month, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss those videos, and also let me know in the comments down below if you plan to order any of these products that Apple will be putting out for pre-orders starting tomorrow, April 30th. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.